Good morning, children. Today we are learning a new poem, The Solitary Reaper, written by William Wordsworth. Let's know William Wordsworth here. William Wordsworth, he was born in 1770 in England. He died in 1850 in England. William Wordsworth focused on nature, children, the poor, common people, and used ordinary words to express his feelings. A major English Romantic poet who helped to launch the Romantic age in English literature. Textbook meanings: resonant, resounding, filling the place with sound, sonorous, having a full deep sound, strain, song, profound, deep, chant, sing, notes, musical sounds, bands, groups, shady haunt, shady place, plaintive, sounding sad or sorrowful, lay, narrative poem, cease, plural with singular meaning, theme, the subject of the song, numbers, lines of the song she was singing, melancholy, sad, Hebrides, a group of islands in Scotland. The Solitary Reaper. In this poem, William Wordsworth says he was captivated by a song sung by a young woman. She is reaping and singing. She is wonderful figure. Now read the poem and find out why the poet is so much impressed by her song. Before going to poem, let's see the other meanings. Behold, see, yawn, there or that, solitary, single or alone, lass, girl, reap, cut and gather a crop, reaper, one who cuts and gathers a crop, exciting, thrilling, perhaps, likely, maiden, girl, sickle, a tool for cutting grass and grain crops, bore, carried or took long, carried or took long. Some poetic meanings from the poem. Highland lass, a girl who lives in the highlands of Scotland. Highland lass is nothing but a girl who lives in the highlands of Scotland. Melancholy, melancholy strain, here referred to as sad song. Wail profound, here it means deep valley, a valley that is very deep. Welcome notes, pleasing sound liked by the listener. Welcome notes, pleasing sound or the music, pleasing music liked by the listener. Weary bands, weary bands, tired group of travelers. Weary bands, tired group of travelers. Arabian sands, deserts of Arabia. Farthest Hebrides, a group of islands in Scotland. A group of islands found in Scotland. Plaintive numbers, sad music. Humble lay, here referred to as ordinary song. Okay. The Solitary Reaper, a poem, is a ballad. Okay, it is a ballad. That means poem is in the form of a ballad. Ballad here means a poem narrating a short story, or we can say in this way, a poem that narrates a short story, or a poem that tells a short story. Okay, so here in the poem The Solitary Reaper, as I already told you that he is fond of the solitary reaper who is singing and reaping the crops. So once again, the poet describes a girl, that means a solitary reaper, or a girl who is alone cutting and gathering the ripened crops in her field. Okay, she is describing a girl, her song, and its impact on his mind. A song that was sung by the solitary reaper that has left a great impact on the mind of the poet William Wordsworth. So that is what he is describing here. Let's move to the poem. The first stanza here: behold her, single in the field, yon solitary highland lass, reaping and singing by herself. Stop here or gently pass. Alone she cuts and binds the grain, and sings a melancholy strain. Oh, listen, for the vale profound is overflowing with the sound. Stanza number 2. No nightingale did ever chant more welcome notes to weary bands of travellers in some shady haunt among Arabian deserts. A voice so thrilling never was heard in springtime from the cuckoo bird, breaking the silence of the seas among the farthest Hebrides. Stanza number 3. Will no one tell me what she sings? Perhaps the plaintive numbers flow for old, unhappy, far off things and battles long ago. Or is it some more humble lay, familiar matter of today? Some natural sorrow, loss or pain that has been and may be again. Whatever the theme, the maiden sang, as if her song could have no ending, as if her song could have no ending. I saw her singing at her work and over the sickle bending. I listened motionless and still, and as I mounted up the hill, the music in my heart I bore, long after it was heard no more. William Wordsworth. Okay. Now let's discuss the poem. In this poem, the poet William Wordsworth describes a girl who is alone cutting and gathering the crops, okay, and her song and the impact of the song on his mind. He is describing the girl, her song, and its impact on his mind. Okay, the poet is much impressed by the song of the solitary reaper, we can say, right? This is a picture of the solitary reaper. The first stanza here: behold her, single in the field, yon solitary highland lass, reaping and singing by herself. Stop here or gently pass. Alone she cuts and binds the grain and sings a melancholy strain. Oh, listen, for the vale profound is overflowing with the sound. So, in the first stanza, the poet sees a lonely girl in the highlands of Scotland, alone cutting and gathering the crops such as corn or rice, and singing by herself. The poet says the reader, or he is addressing someone, either to stop and to listen the song if he is really fond of the voice of the girl or the solitary reaper, or move away gently from there, move away gently from there, but do not disturb the singing of the solitary reaper. He says that do not disturb the singing of the solitary reaper. If you are interested, if you are fond of the music, okay, you stand there, or else gently pass from there without disturbing the singing of the reaper. In lines 5 to 8, she says, she is alone. She is alone, and she is cutting and gathering the ripened crop, and she is singing a sad song. She is singing a sad song. The poet says the reader to listen. The deep valley is full with the sound of the song. The solitary reaper sing. The solitary reaper sing. In the lines 5 to 8, he says that she is alone and she is cutting and gathering the ripened crop, and she is singing a sad song. She is singing a sad song. The poet says the reader to listen the deep valley, to listen the deep valley that is filled with the sound of the song, that is filled with the music of the song, to which the solitary reaper sings. Okay. Next, in the next stanza, no nightingale did ever chaunt more welcome notes to weary bands of travelers in some shady haunt. Among Arabian sands, a voice so thrilling never was heard in springtime from the cuckoo bird, breaking the silence of the seas among the farthest Hebrides. In the second stanza, the poet compares the voice of the girl to a voice of the nightingale. He says, no nightingale did ever sing like before. He says that no nightingale did ever sing like before. The singing of the girl is like a singing of a nightingale, which welcome the tired group of the travelers, okay, who come to live in the roofed shelter or in the oases of the Arabian deserts for relaxation and soothing. He says the voice of the reapers welcomes them. He says the voice of the reaper welcomes them. She sings like a nightingale. She sings like a nightingale. The poet once again compares the voice of the girl to a cuckoo bird, which sings excitingly. He says the voice and the singing of the girl, referred to cuckoo bird here, breaks the silence of the seas among the groups of islands in Scotland and tells them that the winter is over and spring is beginning, and on, and sings excitingly, breaking the silence of the seas. The poet here, he says to the people who are living in the groups of islands in Scotland that the winter is over, and spring is on. So here he compares the voice of the little girl or voice of the solitary reaper to the voice, or okay, to the melody of the cuckoo bird, which breaks the silence of the seas, and makes the people know that the winter is over and spring is on. Okay, so here in this stanza the poet has compared the voice of the solitary reaper or a solitary girl, to two beautiful birds here, which sings beautifully and melodiously. The one is nightingale and another is cuckoo. Okay, so he has referred to the people of the Arabian deserts, or the tired people or tired travelers, okay, who take shelter in the Arabian deserts or in the oasis of the Arabian deserts. To him, he has described the voice of the girl as nightingale, and to the people of the group of islands in Scotland, to them he has described the girl's voice to a cuckoo. To the girl's voice to a cuckoo. Right? Third stanza. Will no one tell me what she sings? Perhaps the plenitude numbers flow. For old unhappy, far off things and battles long ago. Or is it some more humble lay, familiar matter of today? Some natural sorrow, loss or pain that has been and may be again. So in the third stanza, the poet, he says, he is unable to understand the song and is confused about what she sings. The poet, he says that he is completely confused and unable to understand the song that the solitary reaper is singing. Okay. Further, he makes a guess. Likely, she is singing a sad song about the sad events of the past that took in her life. He says that she may be singing a sad song about the sad events of the past that took in her life, or maybe an ordinary song that is expressing her emotions of great sadness associated with the loss of someone or physical or emotional distress that occur in her day-to-day life, that she is facing in her day-to-day life. Maybe she is singing an ordinary sing relating to her day-to-day events. But the poet is fond of the reaper's voice, happy or sad, but is fond of the music, but is fond of the reaper's song and has stood there itself to listen for some time. Okay. The fourth stanza, whatever the theme the maiden sang, as if her song could have no ending, I saw her singing at her work, and o'er the sickle bending, I listened, motionless and still. And as I mounted up the hill, the music in my heart I bore, long after it was heard no more. William Wordsworth. In the fourth stanza, William Wordsworth says, whatever the topic or the subject of the song the girl is singing seems to be never ending or endless. The poet saw her singing while she is working in the field and she is bent to ground, cutting and gathering the ripened crop by using a sickle. And she is doing it non-stop. What she is doing it non-stop, both she is working as well as she is continuously singing. So the poet, who was fond of the song or the voice of the song, the which solitary reaper is singing, William Wordsworth, he stood without moving and still. He stood without moving and still, with a lot of concentration to the voice of the reaper's song. Okay, he stood listening to that song. He stood listening to the song and said that this song, the song of the reaper, is endless. It seems to be endless. Okay, or it is never ending. He says, as he climbed up the hill, the enchanting music or the song of the girl, remained for a long time in his heart. And forever. So this is the poem. The poet has wonderfully described the solitary reaper and her song here. Finally, he says that the reaper's song has inspired him and influenced him much that it has remained in his heart for a long time, and thereafter, that means forever. Okay. Thank you.